This is Komati, and welcome to lecture 5 of Unit 2, which is Inheritance and Interfaces. And in this lecture, we are going to see what is meant by final keyword and where final keyword is used in Java and what is the use of final keyword. Okay, so our topic today is the keyword final. So, moving on. So what is a final keyword? A final keyword can be used along with variables, methods, and classes. So what are the topics we are going to see in this lecture? Final variable, final method, and final class. So the keyword final can be used in three places. Those places are you can use it in a variable, method, and a class. So what is a final variable? So what is a variable first of all? Integer a is equal to 20. So here a is a variable, correct? So if you declare this as final now, then this a is declared as a final variable. So what is final variable? Final variables are nothing but constants, and we cannot change the value of a final variable once it is initialized. So if you have initialized a variable a is equal to 20 now, and if it is assigned as final, then you cannot change the value of a. That is what is meant by final variable. So if you try to change this value of a as equal to 30 now, it will give you an compile error. So if you declare a variable as final, then you cannot change the value of the variable later. So that is the concept of final variable. So see the example here. Here we are creating a class called class demo, and here we are declaring an integer value called 99. So what is the variable here? Max value. And again we are creating a method called my method, and inside this method we are again declaring max value is equal to 101. Here we have already declared max value is equal to 99 with using final keyword. But again what we are doing here, we are changing it as max value is equal to 101. Is it possible? No, right. Once a variable is declared as final, then it cannot be changed. It should remain constant. That is what is the concept. So what will happen if we create an object and call this my method? You will get a compilation error. So what is the conclusion here? If you create a variable using the keyword final, then that variable is a constant variable and you cannot change that variable. Hope you got the point. So we'll move on to the next slide. So in this slide, we'll see about final method. So once a method is declared as final, it cannot be overridden. So this is an important point to note. What is the point? Once a method is declared as final, it cannot be overridden. So which means even though a subclass can call the final method of parent class without any issues, but it cannot override it. Suppose if in your parent class you've declared a method called final, your subclass, that is your subclass, will be able to access this final methods without any problem. But what you can't do is with the same method name, you can't override it. That is the problem with final method. So what is final method? When a method is declared as final, you cannot override it, but your base class, that is when your base class a method is declared as final, your child class will be able to access it, but the child class should not override the same method which is used in the base class. That is the concept here. So let us clearly explain the example. See here, you have a class created called xyz, and in this class you are declaring a final method called void demo. Okay, and in this you're giving some implementation, that is print xyz class method. Okay, and then you're creating a child class called abc which extends the parent class xyz. And now what you're doing here, you're trying to override this final method, correcta? So which is not possible. Once you have declared a method as final, you cannot override it. So what will this program give you as an output? Compilation error. Okay, so final variables are constants, and if a variable is declared as final, you cannot alter it, and final methods cannot be overridden. Okay, these are the two concepts we have studied up to now. And the last is final class. So in final class, what we cannot do is we cannot inherit once a class is declared as final. That is, we cannot inherit once a class is declared as final. So consider this example here. Here we have a class xyz which is declared as final, and then inside we'll have some method and variables declared. This is for example purpose, I'm showing you this example. Okay, and then we have a child class called class abc which extends the parent class xyz. So what is the condition of final class? Once a class is declared as final, you cannot inherit the class. But what we are doing here, we are creating a child class and we are trying to inherit the parent class, which is impossible. Okay, so this program also gives you an error. Okay, you will not be able to run this program since you have declared this class as final. Okay, so we saw the concepts of final keyword in this lecture. So final keyword can be used in three places. What are the three places final keywords can be used in? It can be used in variables, methods, and classes. So once a variable is declared as final now, it should remain as a constant and it should not be altered. And once a method is declared as final, what cannot be done? It cannot be overridden. Okay, and once a class is declared as final, you cannot inherit it. So that is the concept of final keyword. And one more thing to notice is that a constructor cannot be declared with a final keyword. A constructor cannot be declared with a final keyword. Okay, so this is the note you have to make at last. So I hope you are clear with the final keyword we saw in this lecture. And if you have further doubts, what you need to do is, so whatever programs we have given here, you need to try it out in your IDE or using your JDK. So on and only if you try out your programs, you'll be able to find out how each and everything works. Only if error arises, you'll be able to rectify it and understand how the concept works. Okay. So thank you very much.